Alright, this is a B division play-in match. So what that means is there were 3 people trying to place into one spot in B who were returning players. And so they are playing a series of 3-game matches to figure out who gets in. This morning, Mixinok ended up winning 2-1 against Hakha, so Hakha is looking at needing at least 2 wins here to stay in contention for that spot. At some point, I will be joined by xyrix for commentary. I think that's supposed to happen about 10 minutes in. So until then, I will be monologuing. This board has just about everything you need. Draw, Velocity, Tragic Hero, Research. Plus buy, plenty of it. Trashing and Research. Start out is probably looking at something either involving Research or Transmogrify. Research Market Square is a little bit of a functional combo. Steph says that perhaps planning Wishing Well. We'll see what I end up doing. That would be another option, is trying to trash quickly that way. You can also do plan Market Square to try and gain golds early. Put Market Squares in the deck, buy Market Squares with them in hand. So that's where jonts is going. Hakha does the Transmogrify. Pairs it with maybe a Wishing Well. Or Shantytown. Although Shantytown is not quite as appealing late. So, starting with the Transmogrify, I would sort of expect a Wishing Well here. Yeah, we get it. So, jonts will get the 3rd Market Square here and gain a gold out of it. Hakha is probably looking at planning for next turn. He's going to hit 4 with a Transmogrify, so it could be plan on Market Square of his own even. Assuming that he sees the Wishing Well in the first 5 cards, but it's not terribly unlikely, so it's a fine assumption to make. So it'd either be looking to maybe plan on Market Square, maybe plan on Wishing Well. I would guess the Market Square, though. Then one would imagine that the Transmogrify is going to be going to Wishing Well. There would be sort of a debate next turn as to whether to keep the estate around if you do plan here, but I don't know that there's too much of a point. Transmogrify is only going to be working once a shuffle, so, or once every 2 turns once you're drawing. So it's sort of difficult to clear out estates that way. It just buys a Market Square straight up. That makes this turn a little bit odd to me. So I'm not sure what he's going to do here. It's another Market Square, so he's really going to be depending on Transmogrify to trigger those, which seems potentially difficult. So jonts continues to get the golds that way. state is going to go to wishing well. Yep. I would guess without the plan that Hakha is going to probably be adding a research year. Because you do need... you need to be doing something to get rid of the coppers. Research doesn't do a great job of that compared to plan, but we'll at least draw. Jonts here has a decision whether to gain gold with another market square buyer to play this market square and see what happens. I would play this market square and see what happens. It's probably time to start buying things that... I guess you could not play the market square and say add a lost city or a research in. Make sure to get it in the shuffle. Okay, place the market square and sees what happens. This might be like research wishing well. Nope. This is interesting. He's going to replan. I mean, you have enough market squares at this point, so you could, like, say move plan to wishing well, buy wishing well, trash out the copper. More market square. Hakha looks to be struggling. He's less thin, has less economy. The one thing that he might have going for him is a little bit more draw. But transmogrifies in those last 5 cards again, so he just isn't going much of anywhere soon. Jonts continues to just, I guess, take out market squares. At some point he will need to draw a little bit more than he is. So this is just, okay. So he's going to do that with Lost City. Yeah. This is just kind of neglecting the research bit from Jonts, which probably won't end up mattering, but there may have been incentive there for Hakha to play the Wishing Well first to see if he could get to the Transmogrify with it, as opposed to playing the research and setting it aside. It's not really a huge difference, but it would have been nice to get it matted rather than set aside. And you can get a bit more information playing Wishing Well first. Jonts here is looking for mostly a copper, I would think, to try to discard a few more market squares now that he's potentially drawing. Or is going to be drawing a bit more. So I guess he stops here, buys Lost City, Wishing Well, discarding the 2 market squares. He needs a lot more draw now. But even without the draw, his turns are doing a lot more. Hakha will get to hit his last estate with the Transmogrify. That's something that's nice, but that's about all can be said for it. Hakha will need to plan here, I would think. This could be plan on wishing well by wishing well. Yeah, it would be nice if there were a card that converted gold to draw. Or a card that draws 3. Any of the above might help. I don't know about activating more market squares. But something here is that jonts has not seen very much renaissance. So something like research converting gold to draw may not be the thing that occurs most on this board. Not that that's like a great excuse, but there is a lack of experience there. Draws deck, what do you all want? He's doing a lot of drawing Hakha's deck also. But the difference is that Johnson's deck has 4 golds in it, and I guess 5 now, and Hakha's has 1. For gold. Hakha here needs to, I would guess, clear out copper. A 7 market squares is somewhat of a big deal later. Just looking at what you can do with all that money. So Hakha would probably be feeling pressure here to get a bit more of that copper out. I would not be terribly surprised to see a pair of Lost Cities. Or maybe Lost City Tragic Hero. Get the Lost City. He's in double province position. The concern is just how consistent will he be in double province position, and does he actually need to do that? He has 7 market squares, so the same amount of money to 7 province would also pile estates building more. Yeah. Just has way, way more ability to do piles. Depends on how much Hakha scores. Hakha's deck is not terribly capable of scoring. It takes courtier. That's interesting over Tragic Hero. I guess you don't lose it, but that's quite a bit less gold. So I'm not sure. This will be Lost City, Trash and Copper, discarding 2 market squares, and then maybe a pair of Tragic Heroes. Takes the 1 Tragic Hero, and takes the 2nd Tragic Hero, yep. And then down there for jonts is a Wishing Well and a pair of Lost Cities, I believe, so that's pretty good feeling. Hakha is failing to draw there. He also wished for a Lost City prematurely, but did end up finding it. I don't know that there's a whole lot to do here. Needs to figure out how to score next turn. I don't even know if he has that much. Lost City is losing to Lost City Estate Pile. So Hakha, I don't know. Needs to hope that jonts has something go terribly wrong. Mostly. Province wouldn't do much of anything to prevent a loss. If jonts draws, then he would nearly win. Does jonts have a transmogrify down? Oh, jonts never had a transmogrify, so can't have one down. Alright, so Lost City Province, so if jonts draws, jonts wins. Should possibly be playing Wishing Well earlier. Alright, finds Tragic Hero. Wish for Lost City, play Tragic Hero. Trashes, gain some golds. Draw those, win. Oh, it's a lot more than 27. Can discard market squares off the Tragic Hero. Sounds like I have a co-commentator.
Yeah, hi.
Hello.
Train's pretty late, but I made it.
Let me turn you up a little bit.
Sure.
There. Okay. I think that puts us about even on my recording, but we'll see. So jonts is about to win right here.
Well, that sounds pretty good for him.
Assuming that, he decided to not win right here because he discarded too many market squares. So
that sounds like a bad decision on his part.
Yeah. He really needed to draw a couple more of those, but I guess he gets to win this next turn instead, possibly. Or win much later on buying provinces. But he has...
Yeah, but that's...
boring.
Yeah. It really feels like you should try and avoid winning on provinces if you can.
Yeah. Let's see. Like he has
a lot of gold.
Yeah, he has way more money in deck than Hakha and more draw also. And more buys. Hakha, I think, is limited to 5 buys, so not really a concern there. He has the transmogrify that he does have down, so he can go for a tie here, and I guess should go for a tie here.
So you'd start by going research to Tragic Hero then, I assume.
Yeah. Either research to Tragic Hero or research to Lost City. Hakha has 3 market squares and a courtier for plus buy at the moment, plus his transmogrify gain. So, I think moving for a tie right here is probably Hakha's best bet.
Yeah, this looks like the kind of state where you would be pretty happy to take the tie.
So that means either research to Lost City or research to Tragic Hero.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how much money you have in the deck. If you need to pop a Tragic Hero to get
21 would be the need. He has 5 buys. Or 5? Yeah, 5. Tragic Hero to get the buys, but you need the Lost City. I guess I miscounted his buys. He only has 5. So, he can't actually tie here. I lied. He only has 6 gains. So, jonts didn't completely blow it there.
Good job, yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, so we need. I guess he can get the tie piling Lost City, Tragic Hero, and buying a province. It doesn't need to be the Wishing Wells, but that does require a lot more money.
So he leaves the team log on the map, which seems bad, mostly.
Well, if he's playing for a dud, he might look at researching a gold this turn. Discarding a few market squares, so that seemed like not quite the play to me. Playing for the dud, you would discard 2 market squares to research a little bit ago rather than just 1 now. So we finally get to see a gold researched. First time all game. And the buy is surely just going to be a province. I guess jonts can quad, but jonts can also buy 5 potentially, so I don't know if that really
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing for the dud,
saves anything.
So I'll just take,
Yeah.
just take the problem. can also think about taking Tragic Hero.
Yeah, putting another buy in there.
Yeah, there's no reason to take double Wishing Well. There's really just no upside to that. I mean, you have lots of draw for next turn since you've set aside 6 cards, so...
Yeah, and we guess that the gold in there is probably getting transmogrified to a Tragic Hero if you get a next turn, so...
Yeah.
I'd like to see a province here, I think. And I think as jonts a partial dud, I suppose you can buy a province because you don't think Hakha is going to be buying 3. He just doesn't have a ton of money in deck.
Yeah, it looks pretty hard for him to get to 3 without any Tragic Heroes in the deck.
I mean, he gets the 1 to start next turn, assuming he does use his transmogrified, but even so...
I mean, if you lose a gold to get it, then you're not really going up on payload.
You can play Tragic Hero to gain a gold and discard Market Squares is how you gain payload that way.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you could also, of course, lose... Yeah. I mean,
Tragic Hero Shantytown.
Don't know about that. Well, I guess the Shanty is...
Well, he does get his dud. So...
RPG is very excited about duds, apparently.
So jonts is gonna buy province and... I don't know. I mean, you saw 4 golds here. It looks...
Yeah, you have to figure you'll draw next turn.
Yeah, it looks good for drawing next turn regardless, so no need for barracks. I have massive doubts about Hakha's ability to even get to 3 provinces, let alone 4.
Yeah, I don't really see Roderick gets to 3 provinces, starting with...
Well, he has the stuff set aside with research.
He's got something like 9 plus 6 is $15-ish in the deck. Well,
3 might be doable. Yeah, that's true. Hakha's province to province, but we'll see.
Let's go for the duchy and...
I guess since Jones isn't doing... Jones thinks he would be able to mill the province and then do 3, which is probably more reasonable than what I'm suggesting.
Yeah.
I don't know that Hakha would have been able to... I don't know that Hakha would have been able to do it, but it seems better not to take that risk.
Wow, there really is a lot of gold in Janss's deck there.
Yeah. Yeah, John saw 7 golds in his top. However many cards without any of his draw. Just lost to these Tragic Heroes, so... It's certainly unfortunate. No, Jonts missed a win, so yes, he did deserve this bad of draws, but no, not really.
Yeah, all this stuff. It's a little subjective. So let's see. What can happen over here?
I think Hakha probably wants to look at trying to win somehow. Not
yeah, that sounds good. So he needs a lot of. That's kind of the main problem. Needs 14 points to win. To tie, I guess.
I think if you're going after piles here as Hakha, you're probably going after provinces, so you would be thinking about transmogrifying the province and hope to reach 32.
Yeah, that would make sense. That sounds easier than trying to pile duchies or whatever.
Yeah. The alternative would be like lost cities and duchies, and that takes a ton of buys, so. Well, he doesn't have enough for 4 provinces right now, but he'd be thinking he's going to play draw, he's going to discard some market squares, he's going to draw it back up, and he's going to quad. And he's, at this point, deciding whether he wants to try to do that or play for another dud.
Yeah, it seems a little scary to try and play for 2 duds in a row. I mean, it's definitely possible, but
yeah.
So Hakha has the 1.
Hakha has 1, and Jonts has 2 in the trash, so 3. Okay, well, this will tell us what Hakha's trying to do here. Okay, province is going to province, so he thinks he's going to try to quad.
Alright, we'll see.
Sees the tragic hero, can pop it here, and I guess shouldn't. It would be pretty nice to get this wish right so that you get a shuffle trigger before discarding the market squares. I don't know that it makes too much of a difference, but
more draws better.
Or he might be trying to find the 3rd market square in his discard. Yeah. You'd also have some there's also some concern over drawing. He needs to play courtier on market square.
Yeah, that's a good
point. So I'm gonna guess that happens right here. This is actually not good because he's drawing 1 card less than he has the potential to with Tragic Hero. Wasted a card of draw. So, gains gold here. How much is that? Four golds, 12, 33. Yeah, 33.
So we'll see if he can draw.
How hard is it going to be to draw this? 3 market squares, 4 golds. Yeah, he can do it.
Yeah, that's possible.
He skips a market square discard. That puts him below 32, doesn't it?
Let's see here. I'm having
Nope, that is
trouble with
33.
connecting.
Oh, Courtier gave buys. Okay. Or Courtier gave 3 coins. That was what I was missing.
So that was nicely done by Hakha.
Yep. Yeah, you were ahead. Yes, Jones was very ahead. In fact, yes, had the wind playing it right. What's going on? Yeah, on to another game. Maybe. At some point.
Yeah, we'll rest for a minute here.
Okay. This looks a little bit less... Well, maybe not. I was going to say this looks a little bit less explosive, but...
I mean, you have everything you want, pretty much, so...
Yeah. Buy and skulk. Trashing. Lookout, dismantle. Just grave robber.
Lots of nice trashing. Yeah. I would dismantle. I'd probably skulk lookout, I think.
Yeah, I think skulk lookout looks good for reaching sentry. Double lookout into skulk is much less than guaranteed to actually be able to reach skulk. Would be my issue.
Yeah.
Even if you don't care as much about sentry.
Yeah, I'd much rather open dismantle lookout over double lookout if we're not caring about hitting sentry for a while.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I would rather get the gold gains done with Skull. Do that early when it's guaranteed. I see silver. I do not know what you're going to pair with silver. I guess it could be still lookout.
Yeah, I guess lookout. I mean, it seems reasonable, I guess, to take silver over skulk.
Yeah, I mean, it gets you a queen shuffle, but if you see the lookout turn 3. So yeah, Jones does skulk. Okay, so it is silver lookout. Hakha gets to hit 5 here, turn 3. Assuming this skulk doesn't do anything destructive.
Yeah, we can try and figure out how many of the hexes could stop him from hitting 5, but it's not that many, really. There's haunting, fear, poverty. That's it, I guess.
Just the discard ones.
Yeah, diluted. That's true too. Oh, well, he can hit 5 and buy a duchy. It's always exciting.
Let's see. If he gets hit by diluted, what does he do? Guess you should think about what he's buying right here instead. Could be another lookout.
Could be. Yeah, either lookout or silver seems fine.
I don't know that I'd be too worried about getting fairgrounds up to 6 either, but I think that's more because I'm not looking at buying being my primary form of gaining victory points, so...
Yeah, the Grave Robber stuff looks like it'll be good eventually. Lots of draw. Decent amount of villages.
Okay, it does do the second lookout. Plague is not one of the ones that would stop it, so that takes Swashbuckler over Sentry.
I mean, it does fit with taking the second lookout, but I would still want a Sentry, definitely.
Yeah. Especially he's going to end up with 7 cards in deck after these 2 lookout plays, so Swashbuckler isn't even going to start going.
Yeah, you're not really getting any advantages out of that for a little while.
Let's see, he's going to end up hitting some number that's a lot larger than what he really needs next turn, which is to buy quartz.
Yeah.
You might think about might think about discarding Swashbuckler right here.
Yeah, that seems fine. I don't see any reason you would need to play it next turn.
Yeah, he does just that. And buys nothing. Buys silver. I'm not completely sold on the silver buy.
I mean, it doesn't seem...
I think nothing was better.
Yeah. I definitely see nothing better there. So here we take the quartz, I assume.
This Hakha, sure. This jonts.
I mean, I think Jonts also wants quartz, doesn't he? And what else you take? Dismantle, I guess, would be the other option.
He has 2 lookouts. It would be Sentry, maybe Swashbuckler.
Oh, I can't count. I thought he had 4.
Okay, it does take Sentry and sees 3 estates. That is fairly unpleasant.
Yeah, it's not really what you would see.
Poverty was nice if Hakha hadn't seen the Swashbuckler. Instead, it may have even been marginally helpful.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Hakha can take...
Probably Skulk here. Maybe Dismantle.
the Skulk, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with more forwards. I don't think that's a bad decision at all.
Depending on how easily he thinks he's going to draw, he could even think about Grave Robber right now to start to hit a lookout.
Yeah. That could definitely be
that would be a little bit fancy, but...
Yeah, I mean, I do think you can get rid of one of the lookouts around now. Instead of being harmful to do that.
But this sequence of turns has certainly put jonts, I would say, well behind.
Yeah, he really needs to hit like 2 estates with this Sentry now.
Mm-hmm.
Does go for the Skulk.
For Skulk. Hex does barely anything. Well, I guess he doesn't draw here, so it does do something. What do we think this is for jonts?
That's a good question.
He, needs a bit of everything, so...
Yeah. Takes the grave robber. That seems fair. Good.
I can't play this lookout, really. That just straight up can't play the lookout.
Well, what's down there? Yeah, sentry, lookout, grave robber, gold.
Skulk would be the only thing that you would potentially want to trash, and even then, you not really. I mean, you can grave rob it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little tempting to play it and try and trash the Skulk just to trigger the shuffle so that you can try and get some of these bad cards with your sentry in the next hand.
You do that just passing also.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I only had 3 hours of sleep last night, so my analysis might be a little off point today.
All good. Okay, does just take silver.
Yeah, so that wasn't a great shuffle for Hakha there. Definitely not what he was hoping to get. Alright, so just kill the Skulk. Makes sense. What do you take here? Sorry. I would maybe have got second grave robber instead of swashbuckler then.
I think jonts just needs to be sure to draw, so... Somebody has 2 swashbucklers. I feel like that should be Hakha, but...
I'm pretty sure it is. I don't think Jonts had a swashbuckler before he bought one last, or 2 turns ago, or whenever he bought, or no, he gained one last turn.
Yeah, Lemon Spawn points out that was a pretty nasty famine. Discarded 2 components. Especially looking probably to gain Skulk, and that goes on top this turn with the grave robber.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to want.
Hakha should buy something that costs 4 here. He's trying to accumulate coffers for Swashbuckler. Get the treasure chest. Which I guess that means that's what he's trying to do here.
I really don't know how much you need the treasure chest here. I mean, eventually gain gold, so it's dismantled pretty easily.
Yeah. Gaining golds is nice, but...
Yeah, it's not something you really need to, buy silver over one of the much nicer cards. He's doing pretty good on that coffer accumulation.
That diluted.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's really bad. Having less stuff is not when you want to be getting diluted.
Yeah, there's really, there's fine.
I think as Hakha here, you might just take Port Swashbuckler.
Yeah, Port Swashbuckler, you could have the grave robber.
Yeah. I think there's no point in doing anything that could decrease consistency after seeing diluted.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Anyways, it looks like Hakha will get the second win that he needs to stay alive for the spot. Although we would have said that jonts was winning last game at roughly the same point in game, but
yeah, I mean, there's definitely play left here.
There's room, but it's running out.
Yeah. Basically, the main way he wants to win this would be to have Hakha suffer some sort of failure of imagination and just stop building.
Yeah. Because there's potential to outbuild somebody who just starts going after provinces, grave robber, dismantle, gain duchies, gain fairgrounds.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can add. There's also potential for the attacks to start hurting Hakha more jonts, but it's a little difficult.
Speaking of attacks hurting, that one may have actually helped. Trash a copper.
Yeah, it's little things that count.
Or maybe dismantle over grave robber with the golds coming in. Why do one thing when you could do two instead? Gain a grave robber. Yeah, I would dismantle can turn gold into grave robber and then grave rob the lookout. Envy is significant.
Yeah, that definitely does something. It's kind of like half of diluted.
Yeah, that would kind of make you want to have done the dismantle to grave robber rather than the grave robber to dismantle route.
Yeah, it takes advisor. Could just be 2 advisors.
Depends on how much jonts is looking at wanting chest versus something else. This could be dismantle also.
Yeah, it could be dismantle.
If you're really looking,
that juiciest.
if you're looking to come back, it's try to do more with your turns as opposed to make sure to have good turns. Well, yeah, don't dud.
Don't dud is usually pretty important.
That was actually good for jonts in that Hakha had to trash a good card with lookout, and so the grave robber gets used for that, as RTT points out.
Yeah, I mean, you trade the grave robber play for the lookout play pretty much for the second lookout play. So yeah, it's a nice trade.
Hakha might look at grave robbing skulk to grave robber here, drawing it, gaining skulk. Nope, just takes the port back. Well, this turn is this turn has reached potential. Then there was no point in not leaving the port on top.
Just see that was stupid. So
yeah.
That's a little bit of a sketchy undo.
Misery is want to say fairly non-impactful here.
Yeah, so he lost a lot of money from that NPS there.
Yeah, 5 rather than 10. I would use some coffers, I think. Maybe like Dismantle Advisor.
Dismantle Advisor sounds pretty good. Could also think about taking second Skulk, but Dismantle is probably just better.
Dismantle. I guess if it's 5, that's going to be Swashbuckler.
Yeah, most likely. He wants the overdraw.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I wanted Advisor over Swashbuckler, but Hakha did not feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, he has 7 ports, so that is a lot of terminal space for a while, yeah.
Something here that Jonts is looking at is that Grave Robber top decks, and top decking a gold isn't the greatest thing ever. On the other hand, he has his big...
Yeah, top...
He has his big draw card. So...
He does definitely need more draw. Yeah, I mean, the first step in learning to draw is to get a bunch of draw cards. That's usually a good idea.
Well, it's not just shuffling. You kind of need to shuffle and have cards that can actually, do things. Let's see. Hakha cannot play this Lookout. I don't think. I guess no. That's a there's a copper in there. No. Yes, there is a copper. But it's probably better to grave rob it anyways.
Yeah, it's time to say goodbye to the second Lookout.
Although there is a copper in those 3 cards, I believe. So, we'll see. Okay, does go for the copper trash. You can dismantle down into Advisor, or you could grave rob dismantle to grave rob, because it's so bad. I don't think it's actually bad.
It seems fine. It's just being a woodcutter for right now, but that's not that bad.
Yeah, dismantling gold to Advisor seems perfectly fine. You could also trash Curse. It's true.
He goes for the Sentry. Sentry seems a little... Well, I mean, it's probably fine, but it seems a little unambitious, I guess. You've only got the 2 junk left in your deck, and you don't want to kill the Lookouts with it.
Yeah, if you're going for a draw consistency card, I think Advisor's probably going to be better than it, so...
Yeah, I would agree.
So, maybe you're grave robbing the Sentry right now.
That's awesome. Take those nice provinces.
You just have it because it costs 5. Does Hakha need to be ambitious? Not particularly.
I mean, he doesn't need to be ambitious. He could still, I mean, he's not one to the level that there's no risk of him underplaying this board and losing that way.
And the province is a little bit concerning in that respect. Province is now very concerning in that respect.
Yeah, it's not looking so good in this hand, is it? Luckily, I would say.
It's really not, is it? Jonts would really like to draw this port, but can't guarantee it. We'll see what Hakha doesn't do. You can build more by just like adding a bunch of Advisor would be the thing. Make sure that you're not going to screw up.
Yeah, Advisor is looking pretty good here in general. You have a lot of good cards, so Advisor will put good cards in your hand.
Yeah, but there's a lot to build around doubles, so you want to make sure that you're going to continue to be consistent, because you can score a lot with, say, Fairgrounds Duchies going later. Like, if you're going to start provincing, you probably do need to have a plan with the current deck that you have, how you're going to get more of them. Piles aren't emptying, so...
Yeah, it's a pretty sad hand.
Yeah,
It's there.
Very bad.
He does have a Skulk, right?
Yeah, Skulk was the last card of the deck.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Advisor.
Dismantle to turn curse into gold.
That's not a great log entry, is it?
It could be better.
Let's see, Hakha saw the port. It's not missing. It's the gold gain was off of treasure chest, and it's indented. That's what the problem is. So War Trash's Skulk. Hey, that's
That's pretty good. Well, it's something. I guess you just brought it back.
Yeah.
Or not. He steals the Skulk. That's pretty good.
On the other hand, top deck's a Skulk, so...
Well, this hand is not looking
Thinking about this lookout, all of the bad cards are in the discard pile right now, so... In fact, the one bad card is in the discard pile right now, which is a copper. So I think we would expect to see a Grave Rob lookout right now. Curse got trashed with dismantle last turn. Yeah, it should be port first since you're gaining a stop card with Grave Robber. Regardless, so if you assume that you're going to be drawing everything you want, he gains a sculpt that way.
Doesn't need it.
I don't know that he needed it because he does have another one, but
He lost that, so more.
that means he's looking. Oh yeah, Wandering Winter points out it means that he's looking to triple province on money.
Sort of classic triple province where you spend a lot of money and buy 3 provinces.
Boring. I don't know that he actually can draw that much. We buy last turn. Skulk. So, no, I don't think he can get around to it.
It's like trashes a gold there, which is kind of interesting.
That would mean to me that he's about to play Lookout here to be sure to draw that Skulk. Okay, no. He leaves a gold on top, unless he plays Lookout.
Top decking the board is. I don't know about that. I mean, I see why you do it, but.
Yeah, that's punting this turn.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of risks the board.
So, Sentry is going to be the 5 cost. Really feel Advisor over Sentry. Yeah, this is a lot less good than this deck needs to be. Or than this deck could be, I think.
Yeah. It's missing some bits. Pieces.
Yeah.
He does get to look at 2 swashbucklers, though, so that's really, really nice card to look at in general. He's really taking his time and looking at it.
Discards one of them.
Interesting. I don't know. Discarding one of them. It seems like you can find a port in your other 3.
Well, you would
apparently,
think,
apparently
but...
Alright, apparently he needed to both.
He only has 2 more swashbucklers in those 19 cards, so that could be a lot of problems drawing later in this shuffle. A lot of problems. There's a lot of ports. 7 of those are ports.
I mean, it's not really that we're worried. You just kind of inject raw mana into the red.
Yeah. I don't know that jonts is going much of anywhere, though, so...
Yeah, it's not like his deck is really coming together.
Oh, if we're not continuing to build, I think tripling is the best move, for sure. But I would have liked to continue to build, maybe because I'm partially insane, but...
I mean, building is just, it's fun. It's an enjoyable process.
So Jones needs to figure out how he's going to become consistent enough to put a lot of green cards in the deck, because they can't really be provinces.
Yeah, I mean, I figure he has to look at the 6-point fairgrounds at some point.
Grave Rob's Sentry right here. I guess it's only going to be good stuff down in the discard, so it's probably actually worth triggering this shuffle.
Yeah, I mean, you got what? The Dismantle, Swashbuckler, Visor. I mean, you play that Sentry and you draw the Dismantle out of that, you're pretty happy.
Yeah, for sure. And then if you don't, you can get the Dismantle in some other way if you really want to, which I suppose you would, because top decking Dismantle plus one of those 2 cards isn't the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, if you do play the Swashbuckler to get to it, kind of run out of terminal space. But
I mean, he doesn't know that Hakha's looking at a dud here, so you might think that a single province is a little bit risky, but there's also the question of how would he win against triple anyways.
I mean, I still don't like taking the province here.
Okay, it does go to draw this stuff. What does a gold really do, though? You can't get to 4 provinces, can you? 6. I guess you can't get to 4 provinces. So, He's actually 1 coin short of tying. Now that we mention it.
Oh, that would be exciting. That would be a pretty exciting tie.
So I'd expect you almost have to dismantle gold into something reasonably good.
Yeah, I could dismantle
Miserable is not in there. We've seen it twice, unless I've completely miscounted how many times we've gone around the hexes, which I hope I haven't. We've really reshuffled twice.
We saw it.
Could be.
16, so.
Okay. That works for me.
I mean, there's Locus. Locus is pretty good.
Misery. Yeah. No misery.
I think I can't really think of anything better to take here than just another advisor off this dismantle play.
Yeah, I guess the concern there is that you're not going to be able to draw it, but oh well. It takes Sentry.
I guess this works if you really want to see that gold.
Yeah.
Guaranteed to have it.
Alternatively, you get to see the Sentry and Grave Rob it.
Okay. Yeah, it's also a good thing to do.
Envy, fortunately, doesn't do a whole lot right here.
Yeah.
That would have been really bad on...
Happy to see it. I mean, if you give it out,
yeah.
Get it. It's pretty good there. That's true. You can definitely safely province.
Yeah. He could even... I guess the Grave Robber, so he can't safely double. Fairgrounds. Really, one of these could really be a province. You know?
Yeah, it's worth it to spend that cost in a province rather than take fairgrounds. I have to agree with you there.
Swashbuckler gains gold.
I mean, it does say, I guess it doesn't say gain a gold on it. The treasure chest text is elsewhere. So do you spend 5 copper?
That looks really risky right now, if I'm Hakha.
Yeah, that looks pretty bad. You really cannot expect to draw through the shuffle very easily.
Oh, he also drew a swashbuckler, so there's only one spot swashbuckler in those 17 cards.
Yeah, these are some pretty... This for Hakha here.
Of course, having a bunch more advisors...
Yeah, I can get that. See how good Jonts does drawing.
Not very well.
Very good at drawing.
Maybe next turn. Could try throwing a hex at it. Haunting, that's a fairly... I don't know if it's fairly significant, but it does something.
Definitely does something. Definitely better than the other discard attacks, knowing Hakha's hand.
Yeah. Now you get to decide whether Grave Robbing Dismantler or Dismantling Gold. I guess it's going to be Dismantling Gold. Duchy, Grave Rob, probably nothing. Yeah. Bye. Nothing.
By loan.
Loan.
Yeah.
For fairgrounds, I suppose. Port. Alright, Hakha gets his expected dud.
Yeah.
How many ports? I guess he's seen no ports since he was dudding off having too many swashbucklers, so next turn he at least gets to start drawing a little bit.
Yeah, you should be able to get some of his ports with swashbucklers. I mean, it's not guaranteed.
Jonts is currently missing Lookout.
Yeah, he doesn't have Lookout, yeah. Hawkeye's the only Lookout.
Diluted.
I guess
That does basically nothing, doesn't it?
Yeah. And here, I assume you just buy nothing.
Yeah. Gotta count on next turn working. And it probably should. 3 ports, 1 swashbuckler, 9 cards.
Yeah, I mean, he does have to find more swashbucklers to really have it. It's not guaranteed.
There's also a sentry in there, see? Right there, sentry.
Yeah, we found it.
Hakha has a decision here. He should be able to remember that there were 3 ports and deny the advisor. He does.
Yep.
Jonts fails to draw. Not a huge surprise there.
Should probably take the province now for sure.
Yeah, I think so. He will continue fairgrounds, whether it's a good idea or not. discard Lookout, probably. Trash's Lookout. Doesn't have Fairground, so it's not really a difficulty. Or not really a purpose there. Deny Swashbuckler, I think, fairly easily.
Yeah.
You'd much rather have control. Much rather have control over which cards get drawn.
Deny another one.
Yeah. You lose a card that way. Yeah, golds are getting low. Double Province for Hakha here would be losing to double Province from jonts. So I don't know if he knows that, but
yeah, it seems like something he should be able to figure out.
They both qualify for beast speed. Yeah, we're at an hour and 21 minutes in.
Yeah, they knew I was going to be late to the commentary, so they decided.
I don't know, they'd almost finished the first game when you got here, so...
Yeah, I guess I did walk in. This is the single win, so...
Yeah. Now we just have whatever this is. He really doesn't jonts have, let's see, 3 treasures, I guess, yeah, okay. 9 kingdom cards. Duchy. Two provinces and a duchy would leave jonts losing with curse. So that would be good. Not that we really expect jonts to do anything resembling drawing, but...
I mean, you could draw some cards. I'll get up to, hand size of like 7. Pretty good.
It could happen.
Yeah, Duchy Province Fairground seems pretty reasonable.
Okay, we'll dismantle the duchy. Or at least I assume it's going to be duchy.
That seems logical.
I'm not sure what else it would be.
Yeah, there's no point in getting more pieces. Pretty long shuffle to get through.
Against Duchy Province Fairgrounds. Okay, it gets Sentry and will Province Fairgrounds. Nope, Province Duchy.
That just seems straight up worse than the other thing.
That was... yeah. I think as jonts here, it's probably time to maybe get rid of this swashbuckler. I don't know.
Or you could take out. I mean, that doesn't seem crazy to put a lookout on top.
Yeah. You'd put a lookout on top. It is a 14th unique, and then you buy province.
Yeah. Which needs to happen at some point.
Or buy fairgrounds. I mean, if you're winning, you can buy province on the last turn. So
that's true.
There's no way he only has 9 uniques. Depending on due request, that would mean that he wants to trash them instead.
Discard them, yeah. I mean,
Trashes.
Oh, he does trash them.
And find Swashbuckler. What a miracle.
I mean, finding Swashbuckler is good. I still don't know about trashing gold versus discarding.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah, we are getting pretty close on gold pile. 7.
Yeah, if we get a sneaky gold pile here, that would make me very happy.
Considering that their turns suck.
I mean, Hakha trash 2, gaining 2 lives.
War trashes a port. That is somewhat meaningful on the jaunt side of things. Could grave rob port to the top of the deck.
Yeah, Hakha gets
pretty good.
Yeah, port on top. It's a nice thing to have on top of your deck for sure.
I guess he's looking at not really being able to do that province in case Jones draws. But, I mean...
He really, he's given a lot of sentries. I mean, sentry's a good card. So.
Yeah. This has to trash gold. Continue to exchange chest back and forth.
Someone's, we're going to keep running that gold. I guess there's no way to have no one have the chest. So.
Let's see, you deny Skulk here almost surely. Nice port. Guess it ends up being a correct decision, but... Omens. Alright, what can Jones do here? Could buy, this state fairgrounds.
Yeah, that seems...
That would be a lead, even.
I mean, is that really... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see a state. Yeah.
Though I don't know that a point lead really has a purpose other than being able to say, look, I have more points.
I mean, the purpose is kind of that you need points, I guess. The game with more points. So it's an important goal in that regard.
And you also don't know on which turns you're actually going to be getting extra gains, so that would be the purpose in taking the estate now. Gold. Yeah. We only have 2.5 more turns until gold's pile.
Yeah. Or less. Odds could take 2 skulks here, and yeah, that'd be a thing.
Good Province Fairgrounds, that's a fair point.
Yeah, I mean, he does need to spend the coffers at some point. Like,
ending the game with coffers is kind of disappointing.
Yeah, especially like 7. 7 is not a happy number of coffers to end the game with.
Of course, if you use the coffers, it makes it difficult to get the chest back. Okay, this is going to be Fairgrounds Estate. Ooh, it takes a fairly substantial lead there. Although Hakha looks to be drawing, sort of.
That looks... I mean, yeah, he's going to get some good swashbuckler plays. So,
I'm surprised he didn't...
Trash is a goal.
Yeah, that was a mistake. This is going to be discarding gold, top-decking Swashbuckler, or at least should be. I would not have discarded the Swashbuckler.
Yeah, that seems...
Now needs to find a Skulk to potentially
really
triple.
Needs that Skulk.
It's the one in the trash. Doesn't matter. He needs to do the Grave Robber thing anyways. Okay, deny port. Does he find Skulk? Does he find Skulk? Does he find Skulk? Not yet.
Has pretty decent chances to find it at this point.
We're getting...
I mean, he can manufacture a Skulk.
Yeah. Yeah, but he needs the Skulk plus Grave Robber and the Swashbuckler. On the other hand, he can actually play the Swashbuckler here for more cards and Grave Rob the Sentry instead.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So, discard, dismantle, keep Sentry. Ooh. Weird wins involving keeping dismantle would be Trash's dismantle. Okay. This should be Swashbuckler play rather than Sentry. Yep, finds a Skull. Yep. That's a win.
Yep.
I guess is making sure of it right now. Because Trash is gold.
Yeah, we were really close to getting that gold pile. I'm disappointed.
So, jonts needs to win this last game to stay in contention, I believe. Yeah. Which could potentially lead to a somewhat disappointing match with Mick if he can't win. Let's see. If jonts wins this one and then wins 2 against Mick, they're in a 3-way tie. Also.
It couldn't be a 3-way tie. Mick 2 wins. All this 3-way round robin stuff is just confusing everyone. Who tries to figure it out in advance.
Yep.
Personally, I think they should always try and win as many games as they can. I agree with whoever said that earlier.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I would have said more games, like at least do 4 so that the starts are even within a match, but...
Yeah, and if you do 4, then you may as well do 5 so that you have less ties. Yeah.
They got an already starting. That's it. Where's their table? There it is. Okay. We're back. Would it be nice? I don't know. It's kind of fun to go. Spec chat.
Alright, we got the spec chat off.
Yeah.
This looks great.
See, if the already starting bug was fixed, they would have had a different random seed for this board, right? And it wouldn't have been this.
Yeah.
There's motivation right there. Oh gosh. Damn.
I mean, I don't know. Do you go for? I would go. I would think I would go for the potion here.
You have to kind of do both, don't you? Both the curses and the cultist.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the question is, how do you start? Which I would be inclined to start with storeroom potion.
Old Witch might be a slightly better way to give out curses, but I guess people want familiars. Which, I mean, sure.
You can get yeah.
So if you're doing familiar, it's storeroom potion.
Yeah, I like storeroom potion. It's nice. You can put pathfinding on one of the potion cards. That's nice. And pathfinding and cultist would also be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you get 8 coins. It's not like,
I mean, at some point we'll do it because I suppose you could start going after, like, estates first.
That's possible. You could start up for estates. I don't know. I mean,
if curses and ruins are piling, it becomes sort of appealing to just, buy duchies and have points. So...
I mean, no one can disagree with our love. But yeah, pathfind curses. That's the way to go. Right. So Jonts takes a silver.
They both take silver, so they think silver's going to be better than storeroom. I don't know.
Probably means they're going for the cultists first.
Jonts also had... Oh, Hakha had 4 coppers, so is not doing potion. Neither of them are doing potions. That would mean that they're doing cultist first. I would guess.
I would still want a potion here, I think.
Yeah.
I don't like Moneylender at all.
Yeah. I actually want the copper. Alright, so they're
both eschewing the potion.
Yep. One of the major advantages... I was going to say, one of the major advantages of storeroom over silver is that eventually you would be able to double a state with it.
Yeah. Alright, so Hakha can put Pathfinder now. Yeah, Pathfinder. Pathfinder cultists.
Well, the good news about them going after cultists instead of familiar is that the decks are going to be a lot better than they should have been.
That's true. They're gonna get a lot more
money per turn. It's going to be cultist big money instead of ruins curses big money.
I mean, I love big money. It's a great deck. Yeah, you could buy silver. You could buy gold. I mean, that would be reasonable.
I mean, the other thing about staring at 8 here is your next 2 turns are kind of bad.
Yeah, it's not like it's like. I mean, it has to be called this. I agree.
Yeah, you're not hitting 5 either the next 2 turns unless you get absurdly lucky. So,
So yeah, you got to take that call. Just cry.
it so sucks.
Yeah, it's really sad. Does take pathfinding on
Familiar and does not hit 4.
Yeah, this is pretty over.
It's going to be 4 cultists to. Yeah. Whoa.
That passes.
Alright. Well, it is worth noting that both of Hakha's opening silvers missed, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like. But I would have. I mean, it's not like it's.
Yeah.
If you're going into familiar, then you should buy a storeroom rather than nothing.
Alright. Pathfinding goes on cultist. And this is going to be a big problem.
Yeah.
Get to draw a deck. You could even consider building with counterfeit. Alright, Hakha gives up, and that's appropriate there. So, Hakha wins 2, jonts wins 1. What does that mean for our last match?
That means that Mick needs to win 2. It's correct.
1.5.
1.5. No, he needs to. Yeah, it's 1.5.
So Mick needs to win 1.5. And if jonts wins 2, then I believe Hakha gets into it. And if jonts wins 2.5 or 3, then jonts would have it. So we'll go. I will get to commentate a match with lots of possibilities to start out. So yeah, we'll be back on Saturday, same time. Hopefully, the first 2 games don't take an hour and a half that time.
Hope springs eternal.
Yeah. All right. So,
yeah.
Thanks for being here and talking.
No problem. Happy to be here. Always a pleasure.
And
commentate with someone who's so much better at counting than me. So I
well, that's about all I have, isn't it?
I mean, it's a very good skill. So I appreciate it.
All right. So yeah, sign off on this and see you all.